Right, Melissa. God, look a mess. Let's get into your feedback. Let's see what we've got. God, look at that push press in the background. Ooh. So. It's pretty good in flats. It's pretty good. Sleeveless. Depth more than there. Quite nice for high bar. Yeah, good. That's very good, actually. Yeah, nice, quite nice even distribution there. So we see we've got weight down nicely over the midfoot. Might be a little tad over the midfoot, but again, the main sort of like prime movers where you got that big moment arm is coming from the hips up here. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and you're ending up in the same spot every time. Good. So back. Right. Good. Nice simple walkout. Yeah, nice simple walkout. Let's take a look over the midfoot. So again, sort of the angle will sort of like throw this off a little bit, but sort of like if we're looking in midfoot, just a tad in front. But that's where shifting it to that lower bar position, you can see now why low bar might feel a little bit easier for a lot of people, is just having it that further inch, just shifting it closer to that main sort of like fulcrum. But depth solid. Absolutely no issues there at all. You'll have to, you can give me a heads up in terms of the pain sort of scale on these. I'm still a big fan of wanting to put this like squat rehab kind of stages back into place, just because we've still got plenty of time. We're not in any mad rush to, to be like maximizing this squat. As long as you're getting the amount of quad volume in, then we're okay. So not like breaking our neck to get through it, and I would rather you come in right than come in sort of like half beat up and just sort of having to grind through competition, because competition's miserable enough as it is sometimes, let alone when you're having to fight through pain as well. Right, gotta look at those heels. Melissa, the heels are up on these. So that's probably why in your feedback where you put it felt a little bit easier. In converse, it's because you're on your tiptoes, able to engage the quads that little bit more. Personally, I would stick with lifters, just from over the years and having done this, I've never seen anyone, unless they're in a federation where they're allowed to have heels up, which some people do, I've never seen anyone get better through taking their lifters off. Just having that extra inch, like there's basically no downside to it. Again, unless you're allowed to have heels up, or bollocks, unless you're allowed to have heels up, or you're an extreme arch bench here. So let's have a look at the order of this setup. Okay. Right, Melissa, so when you're pulling through here, okay, so when you're pull through setup, okay, your actual pull through setup, I got no problem. It's not what I do, but I've got no problem with it, okay? But the feet need to be your feet need to be further out in front of you initially, okay? So when you're doing this pull through setup, okay, the head and shoulders need to go onto the bench first every time. They need to go down first, like dig in, get absolutely rock solid into the bench, okay, and then the bum can gently come down, because really all that the bum's got to do is just glide down, and as soon as it's kind of brushing the bench, it needs to stay there. Whereas at the moment your feet are too far, so without you doing some insane kind of exorcist arching where you're forming a complete, like an archway, you're not going to get that. So the feet need to be further out in front, because on this one, kind of your bum and your back just kind of like lie flat, so you're not able to drive. So what we would want is the head and shoulders in first, the legs forever pushing force always back up towards his head and shoulders. So it's almost like a cramp almost in the neck, and then the bum can just come down afterwards. Whereas when the whole body comes down together, there's no way of you being able to build up that, but it's just kind of like everything lies flat. It's hoping for the best. The last video was a better setup, because you do sort of rearrange it a little bit. It's just a little kind of disjointed at the moment, and it needs to be. So what you're doing here, what you're doing there, is much better. So once you've got your hands on the side of the, fuck man, you miss it by a centimetre, and like WhatsApp is not having it. So what you've done there is awesome. Okay, you've set up, you've driven all this tension here. Okay, you can even see the quads flexing. Is pushing that back towards the head and shoulders the whole time. Okay, like the knee wants to just extend at this point. This is awesome, but it's kind of what you've done here has kind of completely unraveled and restarted a new process from the initial pull through. So you may even be able to start with just lay down flat, chest up as tall as possible, hands on the side, pull yourself in, head and shoulders down first, double chin, bum comes down, and then you're going to end up in this same position because you've essentially come out of the position you got yourself into when you pulled through and then had to go again. So yeah, it's kind of like a double process. And also, before we've actually started the bench, we're at 47 seconds there. Now, I know a few seconds of it was you like coming from behind the camera and stuff like that, but you've got to get out to the platform, set up, and have the start command within a minute. You just don't want to be flirting around with that. So I would, judging on that setup that you've done there, we'll have a look at the... I'll have a look. I would skip that initial kind of pull through, or if you are going to pull through, you've got to pull through and head and shoulders have got to go down first, feet have got to start further down the bench from you, okay, because not many people have the mobility in their T-spine. Yeah, like what you're doing there is fine. The feet just need to be further out. That was a much better one. This is a much better set. Okay, so the last but one video is much better because you didn't completely come out of the initial position that you got yourself into. You pulled in, you maintained it pretty well. And then put just like, you know, use the sides of the rack as a little bit of like, just like a little bit of a squeeze. That's okay. That's okay. But that third one was just kind of into one position, relax, into another. Turned out good. My recommendation would be to have the feet ever so slightly forward, okay, and it would be to keep your lifters on, because your heels are just up off the floor in all of these videos. And it's one that all it's going to take is some RC judge, you know what I mean, or a first timer who wants to get super specific on everything, to call out a first timer on their fucking heels, because judges just, you know, or refs should I say. Yeah, see, like this bit you're doing here, I don't see why you can't do that just from lay down on the bench and go. Give it a try. Give it a try this week, because I think the end result will be exactly the same. Yeah, butt down nicely, but it comes down last. Shoulders back. Really focus on the breathing. Melissa, okay, this as before the bar comes down. Better rep, yeah, much better on that one. Yeah, those last two bar moves slowest because you're getting tired, but they were the best reps. You can see a very obvious inhale. Try to push the chest up the whole time. As the bar's coming down towards you, you're forever pushing your chest closer and closer to the bar, which is awesome. Yeah, pretty good footage, actually. Yeah, pretty good. Let's just bring you over. So yeah, having a look at feedback. Oh, one thing in terms of when you're putting feedback into the spready, just put the number. Don't worry about putting kg, because if you look on the right hand side, it hasn't worked out the volumes until. So it will have worked out the volumes for the first couple of days on certain things, but not for the rest. Just because it's seeing kg as not a number. Nothing major. I can go back and redo this, but just as a excuse me, just as a heads up. Don't worry about this last one. You will see now in your folder 5 weeks out. Okay, so we're going to take this 1 week at a time. So you've got this week planned in. So again, basically to a pain-free box. That one single as well should be to a pain-free box. And we're just gonna do it week on week. Okay, so don't worry about this week in yellow. That's a deload week if we need it. Okay, which to be honest, I think you might do. So this. So. Pain-free box, RP7. Yeah, that's it. So then back squat onto the same box, some higher rep work, and then at the end of this week, if you feel like all is good, all is pain-free, we can start slowly introducing 1, maybe 2 squat sessions in the week. But the more feedback, the better. What you're doing at the moment is spot on. Just have a look at those things on your bench, and just see if they make any difference at all. I think at the moment it's making it more difficult for you, and there's a lot of movement going on. So give it a go. Feedback's been perfect. Any issues or anything where you feel like when you were talking the other week and you were getting a bit panicky and you weren't, it is nerve-wracking if you haven't done it for the first time and you haven't got a lot of experience with this. So don't. At any point, if you need to drop me a message or you want a phone call or you really just want to double, triple check something, just let me know. Okay, if I can get to you within 5 minutes, I will do. All right, the only time I won't get onto you straight away is if I'm actually face-to-face coaching at the time. But just let me know and I will get back to you as soon as I can. All right, any issues as always, let me know, Melissa. Well done.